So here we are on part 6, folks, on the four-wheel drive Gravely build. And as you saw in the last one, we finally got the engine running and let it run for a while after, and idled real nice, didn't miss a beat. So that's all ready to go. And right now I'm working on getting the cover plate onto the back of this transmission. And as you can see, I have the cover plate here. I cut this out, and what I did is, because the 400 series transmissions only have the 4 holes for the adapter plate for the engine, and what I have to do is put a couple of bolts in here with jam nuts, and they'll push in on the clutch rods right here to hold this clutch in place. So I'm going to put that in, and then this will basically hold this on center, so it'll have to keep constant tension. So what I did is I drilled and tapped for 4 quarter 20 holes on the sides, just so it wouldn't bow out the plate when I go to tighten everything down. So got that all set, and I also got my gasket over here. So I'm going to take this and mount it up, and this will take care of the back high-low planetaries on the rear transmission, because you can see I just have the little metal fingers in there, and they'll just pretty much hold that sun gear from moving back and forth, and just let it idle there. So get this plate on and we can keep going. Our back cover plate is now on the transmission. As you can see, it went on real nice, and I was able to adjust these bolts so the head of them hit the clutch rods, so that's all tightened up and everything. So there won't be anything on this shaft for the clutch rod, given that it just has constant tension on it, so that can get just painted right over. So I got that done, and today I'm going to be putting the high-low planetaries into the front transmission for the engine, so that way I can start laying out shift rods and whatnot, which I think I'm going to try to use some of the original 400 stuff that I have on hand, because I have a ton of extra, and I think it'll be easier since the majority of it's already made up. So I have my high-low planetary set here for the Kohler one, and I completely rebuilt this, which I forgot if I had it in the video, over the winter. It has new bushings and all the gears, and it has a new pilot bushing in the middle, all brass, so it's nice and tight again, so should be good to go. It was the best one I had up on the hill, so that was the one I rebuilt. But we'll get this into the transmission, and then we can remount the engine. So in the last clip you guys just saw, I had put the planetaries in, and I since then have gotten the engine mounted and everything, and we're probably about 3 weeks out from that, from what it was. So it's been a while since I worked on this, but yesterday I started up and I began working on it again, and I'm getting the frame for the seat and everything done, and I ended up getting a flip-up seat pan off of my Craftsman with the springs and everything, so that'll work out pretty good. So I got to finish welding that up and attaching the back of it to these ears, and then that'll be done and I can build off there. And in the front, because I've been working on this with Dad again, and he figured out a lot of the hydraulic pump mounting, so we got a lot of those brackets welded up yesterday. So it's a pretty slick design, having it run off the front like that. So we still have to drill the holes in here for the adjustment for the belt tensioning and everything, and that'll work out pretty good. And what we have here is an old Fisher plow pump, which is still in good working order, so that'll work out real nice. And it already has the reservoir built into it, which is even better, because then I don't have to find a spot for a reservoir on this tractor. So hydraulics are coming along. I still have to order pistons for the steering, because this one was going to be too short, the wheel horse piston. And I also ended up buying a steering valve for the power steering. So I got this off eBay, and this is from a Simplicity Sunstar 20. So it's fairly small, nothing real big, but I got a steering wheel for it up on the hill, I think. And then we just have to get all of our hydraulic lines, but that's going to get mounted in this area somewhere. So today, he's going to be finishing up this hydraulic stuff, and I'm probably going to be finishing up getting the seat brackets welded, and then we'll probably be starting in on either the shift linkages and stuff, or mounting the gas tank and the battery, because the gas tank, we're probably going to use an L tank, and it's going to sit here, and the battery is going to sit right on top of the engine here. Of course, this is going to have a shroud on it, so. But that's the plan for today, try to keep this moving. I'm going to be trying to get it done for the track show the second weekend of August that I go to every year, so that's the plan. So we're kind of kicking it into gear and seeing if we can get this thing going for the end of the month. But anyways, folks, stay tuned. There'll be plenty more to come. I got the seat bracket and everything welded up on the back transmission, as you can see. Hand mounted a seat on it, so worked out real nice. It's got a little bit of spring to it now. And I just mounted those to the axle housing bolts and the 2 bolts that hold on part of this cover plate on the back. Still figuring out for running boards and stuff, but I just put the piece of angle iron there for reference. Up front, got our hydraulic pump all squared away, got the bolts in so that way we can tighten it and adjust it. We still have to put a leg of some sort that comes over and pushes against this here just to keep tension on it, because as you can see it's bolted to the engine there, but it still has a little bit of play in it, so we're just gonna have something to keep tension on that, and then this should work out alright. And now we're starting to figure in for hydraulic lines what we're gonna need for fittings. I found a piston online that has ends like you'd see on the 3rd point for a tractor, like this, the ball joint ends. So that'll be getting mounted down in this area someplace for steering. We are only going to need one. I also pulled the steering wheel off the Panzer, and I put that on the steering valve just for a reference thing. And then I'll probably be picking up a steering wheel at Tractor Supply, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they had steering wheels like this there. So we're going to be trying to just get a reference point on this. That way I can start making a bracket for it and get that mounted to the centerpiece here, so that way it won't be swiveling in the front. You know, it'll stay stationary when you're driving it and turning.